Okay, so here we are again back at the carb, and that is the top of the carb right there. Yours might not look exactly the same, but it should be pretty similar. This here is the choke mechanism, right here, this top plate. And this here is the throttle mechanism. Alright, they probably have real names. I'm not a small engine guy, so I can't say everything about them. The choke is pretty simple in that there is, underneath here, there's like a little set of arms. And when you go all the way to the choke position, there should be a little arm that comes right in here and hits it right in this spot and opens it up. That's what's cool about the simple choke throttle, is that when you go, basically when you go up towards fast, there's a, let's just say the arms are doing stuff, and you go up towards fast, and there's this little arm coming around, and then you push it a little extra further towards choke, and it's going to pop that guy right open. And then when you come back off choke, he's going to let that out. Now what's cool is that whole time, when you go up to fast, this is what happens when you go to slow to fast. Your throttle should look like this. And for example, this is all the way open. That is huge screaming right there. So you can tell that the difference between closed and all the way open is not that much. And that's probably what's going on with you. Something's going on that's making this do this. This is the shut position. This little screw right here, you can see with the spring on it, that's going to control how high the engine is revving when it's in its idle position. Okay, you'll probably never get there though, because, well, you might. It all depends on where your stop setting is on your throttle, because when you get to stop, there's a little electrical thing that's going on here. That's going to ground the engine and kill it. That's a safety thing, and it shuts the engine all the way off. That's why your stop setting is going to connect two pieces of wire here and cause the engine to sense that it's grounded, and that'll do the electrical cutoff. So somewhere in your slow range, you should be sitting against the bottom of this. You need it to idle a little higher, righty-tighty on this guy. Need it to idle a little lower when it's right down at the bottom of the slow range. You can lefty-loosey that guy. Okay, so like we said, the one with the crook that we can still see, he's hooked up here. You can see my screwdriver here. That goes to the spring, the one that's the spring on the governor, right? He just pulls the governor. That's all he does. He doesn't hook to anything on the carburetor. And then the governor has the governor linkage that comes back off the top of the governor with the little hook there, if you can see it. He needs to go into one of these holes. I have tried a couple of them. I kind of a dumbass, so I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but it seems that on this particular carburetor with this particular plate, he does best in this hole right here, this little one. Okay. The problem was the hook was binding up a little bit on a little piece of metal that's back here. In fact, that might be it that I'm touching with the screwdriver. So what was happening is he would open up pretty nicely, and he would run smoothly, but when I'd go up to the choke position or to like full throttle position, that hook was causing it to kind of like stick up in here, and it wouldn't go forward, and then I'd release it and it wouldn't naturally come back, and it was just kind of a pain. But the engine was running really nicely, and the throttle settings were well, so as long as I didn't force it into that position. The problem is I wasn't getting quite enough RPM, and so if I tried to push it and get higher RPM, it would end up binding, and I'd get kind of stuck in that higher RPM spot, so that's not what I want either. So today, my job, in addition to helping you, is I'm going to fix that hook a little bit so that it doesn't bind up on the metal. I'm going to make sure that all of it works together well and that this goes open. Now, I want to show you that this is nothing and this is everything. Somewhere around in here is going to be max for you. It's not designed to be all the way open. If you do, it's going to scream. So what we want is we want to be somewhere like, it's hard for me to get a grip on it, but somewhere in here. And that's just going to depend a little bit on, how things are running. We're going to do a TAC reading to see if we're around 3,500. If we're low, we'll turn it up a little bit. If we're high, we'll turn it down a little bit. High, low. You do not want this. And you need, you can see this stuff underneath the plate when it's running. And if probably what's going on is your engine's screaming, so you don't want to put your face down in there and take a look. But my guess is you got something where this is open, like this. Needs to be more like, for normal running, just sitting there idling in your driveway, needs to be more like in this area right here. All right, so I'm going to get to my job, and we'll see where it goes from there. By the way, I recommend putting a little oil, just light oil, not dripping all over the place, just all over this stuff. Keep it from corroding, and it also keep the linkages, these little hooks and stuff. It'll help them glide on it a little bit better and get bound up and sticky.